What is going on, people? Welcome to the Offside Chat podcast. It's your boy Naber. We are joined in the podcast studio by Edward. What's going on, brother? How are you today, man?
I'm good, man. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. Obviously, we have Naeem. We're not in the same house, but he's obviously copied my whole decor and stuff like that. Naeem, what's going on, brother? How are you, bro?
All is best, man. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to everyone. Looking forward to
thank you very much. We got a special guest here. I think last time he came on, I bigged him up. This guy is the reason I got into radio, man. His name is Ruben. I think I can say his government name on here. Used to be the head honcho at Radio King in Brixton. Lifelong Manchester United supporter, Juventus, Bayern Munich, and Crystal Palace when it suits him, man. The one and only, man. Big up, Roman. Welcome, brother. What are you saying?
Thanks, Emily. Happy holidays to everyone as well. Everyone locked in.
Nah, exactly. Right. Listen, there's only one place that we have to start with, and we are going to talk about Ruben Amorim. Now, listen, when Roman was a young boy in South London, being of Nigerian descent, he had opportunities and choices who he could support. Now, the beautiful culture gave us players like Ian Wright, John Barnes. These are the guys that Roman had the choice to resonate with and support because they looked like him, they represented him. But for some reason, Gary Pallister, Steve Bruce, and Andre Kanchelskis had that bigger pull. I don't quite get it, but I'm here for it. And I think we know why. It's because Manchester United was winning. That's why. He's from a Christian Nigerian home. So having a red devil is something that you don't aspire to do. 100%, I definitely know this. This is not what they taught him in Sunday school. So the reason why he went is because they were winning. And it was a good bet at that time. So Alex Ferguson dropped 13 Premier League winning titles on the head, 2 Champions Leagues, countless FA Cups, one of the most, and they were at that time the most successful English team of all time. Manchester United were winning everything. Every transfer window, they'll just steal anyone's players. This is how it was. It was a very easy life for a young man from South London, Roman. They thank their lucky stars when Andy Cole and Dwight York come so they can hang on to certain man them. And if they were totally honest with us, they wouldn't really enjoy the Manchester United Christmas party, partying with Nicky Butt, Roy Keane, the Neville brothers, everything that Roman would love to do. When he looks at his club, he says, yeah, that club represents me. This is what it's about. But it didn't matter because they continued winning. Fast forward to today. Roman, I'm going to give you the stage. When you signed that contract with Manchester United, you never thought you would be experiencing days like this. Roman Amorim sacked 13 managers down, or 10 managers down since Alex Ferguson's left. Roman, tell us, man, what is going on?
You know what? It's been like this for a while, hasn't it? The club's been a mess. So you wake up this morning, you see that news. It's nothing new. You get numb to it. It's just normal now. Like it's like coming home every day from work and your house is on fire, and it's like I didn't put the fire out. I'll come back today, it's still on fire. Like, all right, cool. It's a mess. But you know what? It's actually the right decision to be fair. He could have been sacked ages ago. And I'm one person who, when it comes to like management or even a new player coming to the Premier League, I like to give them a bit of a chance, see what they're about, give them some time. At least if you're a manager, give you one transfer window. And he had, 3 in total? The football style wasn't there. He could talk, I give him that. So in press conferences, cool. Like, he gets his point across and quite emotional with it, though. So these are red flags, if you ask me. Okay. You want a manager that's calm, that knows what they're doing and can get their point across to the players and get them performing on the pitch. And that's something that we didn't see. For what was he there for? 14 months, 15 months? Mm-hmm. We didn't see that for that time. So it was time for him to go. And the shameful thing, I think, is his comments that he made over the last day or so, last couple of press conferences, is what actually got him sacked, not actually the performance on the pitch. I don't think if he didn't say that, couple of days ago, he'll still be in the job.
Well, to be fair, you're currently 6th. I know, obviously, the drawing at home to Wolves and drawing at Leeds is a tough place to go. But I think the Wolves one is probably what kind of shook it. But you're 6th, so you're off top 4. You're 3 points off. At the beginning of the season, I'm sure you would have bitten, your hand off for that to be 3 points off top 4. You're still kind of in it. Obviously, people dropping points. It was quite a good weekend for you when you look at the surrounding pack also, Drew, as well. So you're right about that, because it can't be just the results. I know Wolves is bad. That's a very bad result. However,
there's a lot of bad results. There's a lot of bad results. And I was asked at the beginning of the season, where do you think United will finish? And I said, with this manager in charge, mid-table. With this manager, without the manager, they could finish 6th or 7th. Especially if you look at the quality of the league right now. That's the reason why you got Arsenal 7 points clear or 8 points clear, wherever you are, because the league is quite weak at the moment. So you're finding it. There's other teams. You see Liverpool dropping points against Fulham. You see Man City drop points to Chelsea. Chelsea, you don't have a manager, by the way. So if you told me that Man United could be 4 points off the top in a league that's this week, no, you went on a run where you faced Everton. They had a man sent off for fighting each other. We didn't have nothing to do with it. We left them to get each other sent off. At home to Everton, couldn't beat them. Wolves 1-1 at home. That's not good enough. If you look at the game against Leeds, going into, I probably would have said we would have lost the game going into the game against Leeds. But when you're watching the game, you see how poor Leeds are. You think a good team will beat Leeds. We didn't beat Leeds again. So there's a few games there. You think you pick up 9 or 12 points in that run, where would you be? You'd be 3rd. If you had Michael Carrick just playing a 4-3-2-1, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in charge of this team, saying play your 4-3-3, go out there, do your thing, I think they would have picked up more points than he has. So someone else needs to come in, and I think now's the right time.
Obviously, I'm sure the other two was. In regards to this formation thing, it seems to be something that keeps getting brought up. I know, obviously, he kind of made a rod for his own back when saying that he didn't want to adapt. But looking, obviously, with Jason Robots, you guys, Amorim didn't call and say, I want to be Manchester United manager. He was playing 3-4-3 at Sporting Lisbon, very successfully in his league, minding his own business. And you guys approached him. So you obviously liked something that he was doing. And that's his formation. So I do hear that, right? I feel you have to adapt and stuff like that. But that's how he got his move to Manchester United. That's how he got his move to one of the biggest clubs in the world. I do get it when people are saying, look, well, in this league, you need to learn how to adapt when things aren't working, or adapt to the players that you have. But it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because some managers would be like, right, I'm just going to come in here, maybe similar to Ten Hag. I'm going to switch up different formations because of the certain players that I've got. And then you don't get results. And it's like, this manager clearly doesn't have a plan. He's going to be criticized about not having a plan. Keeps changing the team, keeps changing the formation. Or you're going to get someone that said, this is my formation and I need the players. You have to recruit the players that suit my system. So do you think it was a bit, because you just mentioned the formation again, but this is Amorim, this is who you kind of signed.
And that's the same reason why Liverpool didn't get him at the time when they were looking at him.
Okay.
Because there's talk that Liverpool wanted the manager. They went after Amorim. He explained that he's going to play his 5 at the back, 3 at the back. And let's be fair, it's 5 at the back. It's not 3 at the back. He's going to be playing that. And Liverpool like, no, hands off, we don't want you. We'll look elsewhere. United, we know what we play. 4 at the back. If it's 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, whatever, it's 4 at the back. It's wingers, explosive play. What he's playing isn't that. And then, as I mentioned, if he was playing a natural 3 at the back and the wing backs were doing their job, Ahmad is doing his job, but the other side, you got Dalot, you got Dorgu fitting in there, not doing their job. So, and you can't wait around and say, I need the perfect players to make the system work. That's not how the sport works. If you're not Arteta, who has been given time, you're not Pep, who's been given time, or even Klopp. Like right now, he needs to show something, and he didn't show anything in the time he was there.
Ed, what's your thoughts, man, from what you've heard from Riman?
Yeah, I mean, he knows more than me, so you have to listen and defer to a United fan in this situation. But what I will say is the club needs to take a long look at themselves. And obviously, like Roman said earlier, this has been since Fergie decided to retire. It's just been one bad decision after another. We posted on our IG that it wasn't his poor form as a manager and his rotten win percentage that got him sacked. It was him actually going against his bosses, and the press conference was the straw that broke the camel's back, right? And that just goes to show you just how backward United are, because he came in with a lot of hoopla. You know, he was a up and coming, promising manager in Portugal, and in the last 25 years, Portugal had a resurgence of managers. Obviously, Jose leading the charge. They've had a couple of guys, you know, Marco Silva, Villas-Boas had a little run as well as a manager. You know, Amorim looked to be in a similar mold where he can, you know, come to a European heavyweight and maybe make his name across, you know, Europe as a manager. But it just didn't click from almost match one. I know they won their first 2 games, but it fell off pretty quickly. And obviously, as the season progressed, it went from bad to worse. You lose a European final against Spurs, and then you finish 15th. Somehow he keeps his job in the summer, and they give him money. I know there was rumblings about, you know, he went to the board and said, I want this type of player. They gave him something else. But at the end of the day, you still got to do your job as a manager, which is win games, fly up the table, win trophies, yeah? He didn't do any of that. But he managed to keep his job in the summer. And then perversely, because they're actually 6th now, a couple points off top 4, you go and sack him now. It just points to me that this club, they've lost their way. They don't know what they're doing, man. When they should go left, they go right. When they should go right, they go left. Up, they should go down. It's just, they don't know what they're doing, man. They're all over the place. Even go back to Ten Hag. You let him stay. They should have sacked him when it was going left. You let him go into the summer, keep his job. You sack him 3 months into the season. Now, all United fans will say, well, it's a good time to sack Amorim. He wasn't good enough, X, Y, Z. But at least if you sack him in the summer, or if you sack him right at the end of last season, you give yourself enough time to find a good manager, give him a pre-season, let him bed in his ideas. Now, you're going to go into halfway through the season, mind you. You sack the manager, Amorim. You're now going to get a caretaker in until the end of the season. And then you're going to hope for the best, whether it'll be Glasner, Emery, whatever name is available. You're going to hope for the best in them coming in. And I feel like whatever manager they get, whether it'll be a good one, an up-and-coming one, an established manager, I think the failings are all too the same, man. You've got players that don't belong there. You've got Luke Shaw that's still there, Harry Maguire. We don't know if Rashford's going to come back and try and, you know, salvage his United career. There are too many players on big money that should have been shipped out ages ago. And I think as long as there's players there and there's upper management that are not doing their job, it's going to be the same failing, man. So it could be Amorim. It could be, listen, you could go back to 2001 and get the reincarnation of Alex Ferguson. He will struggle with the squad. The squad's not fit for purpose. There's certain players that aren't good enough. And that's the thing. That was the hallmark of a United side when they were winning. They had world-class players and they understood whatever the United way was to win. We play for the badge, we win games, win trophies, and there was a relentlessness to it. Now it's just you've got players coming in, you've got mercenaries like Casemiro and, you know, paydays. And it's just...
But do you think that's pay? Okay, I think that's a bit harsh.
Why? Why is it harsh?
Yeah, because listen, Manchester United supporters, the tagline that the majority of them always say, "We're Man United." That's literally, it's like a doll, isn't it? As soon as you pull it, oh, you Man United, well, you press certain buttons, and how many Champions Leagues have you won? Sir Alex Ferguson, we're Man United. You're the biggest club in the world. So why would a player who plays for Real Madrid and has an opportunity to go to Manchester United, why would that be? I just want to cash in. Obviously, they pay good money, but it's an attractive. Whether we dislike Manchester United, that's just the reality of it as an Arsenal supporter. But if I'm not, and I'm looking around and I'm thinking, hold on a second, this is another sleeping giant. You know, they've got the money, they're going to spend in the transfer market. They're the probably biggest supported club in world football. Obviously, Real Madrid maybe. So why would he not Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say he's a mercenary. He's a professional football player, and he's got an opportunity to go to Manchester United. Why would you? Yeah, why would
It's
that be put down
mercenary in the sense
as
that
mercenary? Is that?
it's a mercenary in the sense that, come on, Casemiro, you know United ain't been good since 18 how long? They haven't been good. So you're going there, and yes, the idea of it being a sleeping giant, okay, but the reality is they're miles off it. They're finished. They're finished. So you're going there just to play games and collect a paycheck. You're not going there to really win. You've come from Real Madrid, so you should know what a real winning club looks like. The mentality is just different. Yes, United are big in name, but that's what they are right now, big in name. That's what they've been, big in name. They don't attract the best players. It's not like everyone's wanting to go there. Look at their transfer windows, yeah? Under Fergie, they could attract the best. If they couldn't attract the best, they could attract the tier below. So if you're not going to go and get who Real Madrid are getting or a Barca can get, Man United will get the best of the rest. They're not even getting that anymore. They're not even getting that. They're getting.
You think that's the decisions on who they're going for, though? Do you think that's got to do with?
It looks holistically, it just looks like, again, they're a sleeping giant, but with poor management. And until the management fixes up and they can get, top level brass, a manager that can, understand what the brass need to tell him, and then they can communicate what they need on the pitch, it's all going to be the similar failings.
And that's a fair point that you said. Obviously, Naeem, exactly. I think Ed's made some good points there, but he said a top level manager. I'm looking at the last 10 since Sir Alex Ferguson has gone. You had one of the greatest managers of all time, Jose Mourinho. You also had an absolute legend in the European game, Erik ten Hag. Ed, it's not like they haven't gone for top managers. This is not Erik ten Hag. Sorry, yeah, my bad. Long day. No, not Erik ten Hag, of course. I think Louis van Gaal. Listen. I know it was many years ago, but this guy is, when you're talking about a CV, and even Wayne Rooney said, listen, tactically, he's not the best I've worked with. We did the job with Ajax. People said that's 30 years ago. Cool, fine. He's gone to Barcelona, nicked some league titles there. He's gone to Bayern Munich, fantastic there. Went to the Champions League final, didn't get over the line, and got beat by his protege, which is Jose Mourinho. So they've had managers. They've also broken British transfer records. I think at the 10, I think they've got about 6. They've already done the Pogba. They've done Lukaku. Everything that you're saying, right, these are the tools. This is who you want. I'm going to give you who you want. And they haven't got over the line. I wouldn't say that they haven't had top managers.
No, when I said top level management, I meant as executive level. Like real.
Right.
And it's just, again, like I said, if you had a proper top-level manager, executive level, you sack Amorim in the summer. You don't wait for it to get to 6 months into this, not 6 months, halfway into the season, and then you sack him, and you're even in 6th. It's not like he's in 17th, and they've been really, really bad. He's actually in a better position than he's ever been since his tenure at United. So again, to me, that makes it seem like you don't know what you're really doing, because you kept him after finishing 15th, and losing to Spurs in a major European final. He kept his job then. But because he's spoken out, and again, I'm not here to defend Amorim, but because he's spoken out against his paymasters, that's why you sack him. But really and truly, he should have been gone. And that to me shows that you're not making sense. You're not doing what you need to do. And until you fix up at that boardroom level and at that executive level, it's going to be the same similar failings, man.
Yeah. No, do you know what? I think you raised the point there. Obviously, Riman will know a bit better. But if I was executive there at Manchester United and I've seen you ostracize Rashford, which I criticised, I thought that's a bit peak. And obviously, Kobe Mainu as well. That's another homegrown talent that you've ostracized as well. So the board are probably thinking, no, I've really backed this guy, to be fair. And then you'd go into a press conference like that, you just kind of think, all right, this guy is very emotional. Because that's like me really backing Naeem now, and he's moving to the youth players. And we're just thinking, no matter what happens, I'm going to give this guy 260 mil in the summer. I'm going to back this guy for you to come in a press conference and kind of, question that. Who next? We've mentioned who we're going to bring in. Naeem, you've usually got a good eye. for scouting talent. Obviously,
True, that's true.
Benjamin Sesko and Enzo Fernandez. So you've got a good record now. So who do you think?
Enzo Fernandez, great finish. I think the first name's been first things first. I think you made great points. I think what did was the outburst when he was called out. He basically called out Jason Wilcox, didn't he? And I think didn't he mention Gary Neville at the same time? And when he mentioned pundits and that, yeah, he was all over the place. It's a bit. I think Ed made a point about the management at the sporting level, where they sacked Ashworth, who said to them, "Don't sign Amorim," right? And so they got rid of him after paying their 12 million, some mad release clause from Newcastle. That just showed what a mess it was, and now they've sacked him not because, but sixth in the league, you can't really, they're there or thereabouts at the moment. So it's because he threw him all under a bus, basically saying I've got no control. And he, I think he wants more players signed, but that's another thing. His stats are awful, right, in the Premier League. You've seen them, worse win ratio, etc. But I think the biggest concern for me was when I looked at it was no player any player that he had for 18 months. I didn't see a player improve. Generally under a coach, and he's going to be a very good coach as well. I didn't see any improvements for any players. Any players that really performed already. You look at Cunha, who's been a good signing, and Buemo, they're already there and tailor-made, right? So that was always my bit of a concern with him. Replacements, talk about Glasner, he plays 3-5-2, right? So is that going to be an option? I doubt it, right? I think Glasner's supposedly been eyeing up that job. He said he's leaving at the end of the season from Crystal Palace. He's one of the favourites for it. I think Ed made a mention earlier today. Southgate, wasn't he mentioned previously? He's not been doing anything. I
don't know the disrespect.
I'm just thinking who's available? Him, Southgate. He hasn't really done anything. But obviously taking England to the final, and obviously with a much better set of players. There's not many people out there. There's Darren Fleck just taken over temporarily
for 2 games. Yeah,
2 games. Who is out there that they're going to bring in? Who's going to? I think they need to command a bit of respect in that dressing room, because they're in a good position in the league, right? And you don't want to go and crash and burn in this aspect, because as Ruben said, the league is so tight. A couple of wins here, a few more drop points around them. They're in the top 4. So
I think that's a fair point. Roman, who do you want?
Yeah, who would you want to take over? Because there's not many about.
I think Southgate. I know, but I've known Roman a long time, and I know exactly he would be happy with Gareth Southgate.
Never want Southgate.
Why?
I don't want that.
I don't rate him, but that's why I want him at United.
But why though?
That's for your own personal reasons.
100%. I'm not going to lie about it, but who's available? That's the thing, isn't it?
No, but why do you not? Yeah, what don't you rate? He'd be very good with England. Didn't get them over the line. Fair play.
Let's be serious.
Premier League. I swear the last season he was here, he got sacked or relegated, or one of them in 98, 99, 2000.
No, he managed Middlesbrough back in the day. He got them to a European final, I think. Or was that McLaren? Either way, he got sacked.
That was McLaren. That was McLaren.
Yeah.
I think he did get them relegated. But what about? Okay, you're saying that, but I've heard Man United fans mention Roy Keane. He's been shocking. You've had, obviously you had Ruben this story for a little bit with Leicester. He was shocking. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now this is what's making me laugh about United supporters. They are behaving like a person who has had multiple lovers all through their 20s, 30s. Now they're hitting 40s. Now they're pretending to reminisce on the exes who mistreated them. Now they're looking at them with rose-tinted glasses. Oh, maybe Ollie, he wasn't that bad. Maybe Jose, he wasn't that bad. Ollie didn't have the credentials to manage Manchester United. He played for you, but he did a decent job, no?
You know what? When it was time for him to go, it was time for him to go. We can't look back and now try and act like it was a different outcome. Remember what it was, how terrible it was, and he had to go in it. Same as Amorim right now. In 2 years' time, you can't look back on Amorim and say it weren't too bad.
I don't think you will, Roman.
He's the worst Manchester United manager of all time, so he had to go. But in terms of managers, you know what? You got to remember, these are interim managers. Like, they weren't there full time.
Maybe you need that for the period of time, because there's no one really about, is there? But God, sorry, man. What do you think?
No, I think so. I think they should just hold on to Fletcher until the end of the season. The season's a write-off anyway. Unless they go in there and find the manager that's available right now, the season's a write-off, just whatever. And you got to look at the way the hierarchy. What's Amorim saying that they're picking the players for him?
Mm-hmm.
He's not allowed to buy them.
formation as well.
Well, they discussed tactics. He is still the coach, but
Listen, there's no big managers that's going to go into a job and accept that. Tuchel, apparently after the World Cup, he's available, right? He's not going to have them picking the team for him at Man United.
That's what got him sacked at Chelsea, right?
But what kind of manager is going to come and sit in the hot seat and take that kind of treatment from the board? And it's not going to be a manager of that kind of level. So you're looking at lower level.
I reckon they'll give him what you said about that as well. I think let's be a little bit fair to the board in terms of this. I don't think when Amorim came in, they really questioned his tactics or formation. But when you finish 50th and you've got the worst win, that's probably because I'll let you come and say, look, Riman, do your stuff. But when you're running the radio station to the ground, I'm probably going to say, look, so I know Amorim will be like, I can't believe it. I'm being undermined. He wants to have a conversation about tactics. But Amorim, bro, your win percentage, what else am I supposed to talk to you about here? I think that's fair.
If you got a win percentage like that. You can't speak up if you got a win percentage like that.
There we go.
Also, what he failed to understand, he was head coach. Head coach and manager is two different titles with two different responsibilities. Head coach, you're basically the first team coach. You deal with the tactics, whatever. But when it comes to the manager, there are different responsibilities. There's more responsibilities on a manager than there is a head coach. So you can't complain about their picking players. That ain't your remit, bro. Yes, you can have a bit of input, but we have a board and we have a little committee where we have, maybe 10 players and we maybe pick 3. And then when you have a short list of the 3, we'll say, listen, what do you want? Or what do you think you can work with? Or give us your input. But a manager, it seems like he kind of has autonomy over signings or more of autonomy over signings. Amorim, as a head coach, know your role and shut your mouth, man. You know what I mean?
Remember, like at the end of the day, the hierarchy, they're giving him players to use. If you're coming to me and you're saying I want some more players, I'm thinking, hold on, what are you doing with Mainu? Is he playing? You want more? Mainu's not playing, Xerxes not playing, but you want more players. You're not getting them until you utilize the ones you've got. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, listen, he's gone. And I'm happy.
Yeah, but then also as well, I think to shoot Amorim some bail, if he's got a sort of system where it's like, listen, this is my 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, can you at least get me players that can fit the system? Because it's all good and proper knowing that I've got a system that worked for me in Portugal. Yes, it's Portugal, but it works, right? You now buy me certain guys that, for love nor money, aren't suited to the system. Now, we then can say, listen, footballers, when you get to that level, systems or no systems, you should be able to play in it. You know what I mean? But certain players are specialist players. Certain players are suited to some more systems. So there's no point buying a Dorgu and sticking him at right wing if he's a right back. Do you know what I mean? It's just, or if he's a wing back or whatever it is. There's too much confusion. I always said, listen, Amorim maybe be flexible in the sense that you don't always have to be 3-4-3. Maybe do 4-3-3 because we could see that Bruno Fernandez couldn't play in the 2. He was getting overrun. So that was his failing. But at the same time, if you're the manager that I've been brought in to take over this team, help me in it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no point giving me players that aren't fit for purpose, can't play in this system. What do you think is going to happen? So I don't know, man. Again, this is my overarching point. It's a mess up top, man. It's a mess. It's a mess because you've got a manager that has a specialist system. You're buying in Buki players that can't fit to the system, and then you're crying that you're finishing 15th. It's a recipe for disaster, man. It's a recipe for disaster. So
I think with this current set of players, the real question is, would Eddie Howe or Unai Emery do a better job with the same players than Amorim? And when you ask yourself that question, you're not going to like the answer. If you're an Amorim supporter, you're not going to like the answer because you kind of know that they probably would, make a decent meal from that. I'm not saying they're going to be winning the Prem, but you think with those sort of players as well, you got to think about the attacking prowess that you've got now. Obviously, you got Cunha in Buemo. You brought in Sesko. You got Xerxes. I've seen him do stuff at Villa. I think with Emery, wherever he's gone, these forwards have always scored goals. Obviously, Arsenal was a bad time that he came in, but Aubameyang, Golden Boot, Lacazette scoring. It was, bad defensively. Of course, it was shocking. However, they always score. Look, even you look at that Villa now.
Wilkins has best season on them.
Yeah, Morgan Rogers. They look very dangerous going forward. So you think Amorim, that's some firepower that you set. Because in the summer, I'm not going to lie, Roman. I looked at that. Obviously, I had to show face, but I thought this is a bit dangerous. If this clicks,
exactly. And you didn't even mention Ahmad. You didn't even mention Bruno, who's got one of the most chances created, assists in the league since he's been there. You didn't mention these kind of players.
And I think Ahmad is wasted as a
wing.
Definitely, man, for me. But no, it is definitely interesting. But Roman, you haven't said a name, man. Like, come on. A couple of years ago, Zinedine Zidane was mentioned.
Be realistic nowadays. You got to be realistic. And honestly, if Glasner comes through and he doesn't play 3 at the back or 5 at the back, I'll say yeah. I've seen in certain interviews he said he plays anything in it. So if he wants to come through and play 4-3-2-1 or 4-2-3-1, fair enough. Xavi, obviously, but may not have the players to suit that system right now that can keep the ball. He might come through and say, I want to keep the ball. Bruno can't keep the ball. Ugarte can't keep the ball. It's going to have to be Mainu. Bruno gets dropped, obviously. Xerxes, he might have to start, whatever, in it, so they can keep the ball. Ahmad, obviously.
What, in a 4-3-3?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. In a 4-3-3, I reckon it'll be Castle, Ugarte at the base, Bruno and
Ugarte can't keep the ball. Bro, he can't pass the ball sideways.
Yeah, he's around. He's a
Maybe Casemiro, and the other option they'll play Mount or Bruno.
Mount. Yeah, Mount.
Yeah.
Ahmad and Bumo Sesko. Xerxes can even come in. So I think the players ain't there for it, but I like to see it. In all reality, we need a manager that attacks, that plays football, to be fair.
You know what's going to be interesting now, and we've seen this film before, and I'm going to call it now. Obviously, Darren Fletcher's in there now. It's going to be 1 or 2 decent results, and you're going to hear them again. Like, they're down today, but you just know these guys are like cockroaches, these United supporters. You give them something small, and they'll multiply this. Mainu's going to get brought back in. He's going to give us 2 7 out of 10 games.
Yeah.
And that is it. Darren Fletcher, he knows the club. You know, this is what I'm talking about. He knows the club. He's Ferguson's student. Look, Mainu is back. It's a disgrace. Where's Rashford? Rashford, make sure you're back here in the summer, yeah? Make sure. But man, you know this is going to be the case with you guys, man. I can only see it.
We've seen this before. And it's a shame, like, United fans are so thick that they see things and they don't see the reality in what they're actually seeing. This manager, like, no disrespect to Fletcher, he's an under-18s coach in it, and he's doing this thing over there. I think they're doing quite well in it. But like, this is the big boy league, in it. Like, and of course, anything that comes in right now is going to be better than Amorim. The football's going to look better than Amorim's football. You're going to see 4 at the back, so automatically you're going to be like, yeah, I like this. You're going to see the Sesko score more goals, and Boomer's going to look free. No, I'm telling you, you will.
No, but you know, man. And you know what else you're gonna get? You're gonna get
see Bruno back in his number 10 position. You're gonna see they're all gonna be good feelings in it, and then they're gonna get a couple of wins. And some of these idiots might be like, "Yeah, give them the job." But for me, you got to have a plan. And I don't trust the people upstairs, the board, to have a plan to say this is what we're gonna do. And we're gonna stick to it. I do not trust it.
You know what's gonna happen as well?
I would say Tuchel, to be fair, but I don't think he would come to United.
You know what's gonna happen though? It's gonna be interesting. You're gonna get, obviously, your media presence of ex-players, because they cut a lot of slack for Ole. Honestly, sometimes I was like, "Yeah, this is bad now. This is basically me saying, look, Ed is really bad at Arsenal, but because he's my guy." I was like, "You're holding back." Like, even
Joaquin didn't say one word. Yeah,
they blamed everybody but him first. They said it must be the players. I know this guy. I shared a dressing room with him. So Fletcher comes in. Listen, that rope is going to be as long as the Eiffel. That they're going to give him a lot of space, a lot of time, not too much criticism as well. So
it's to hold the board and the club accountable. Like, if Real Madrid are going to come through and do something like that and just bring through, I don't know, Guti as manager, and he's not got no credentials, they're going to riot. They're not having it.
But it's different levels, isn't it? Different levels over there.
Even Liverpool, they're not having it. If they're going to try and bring through Jamie Carragher to be their manager full time. You know the fans, yeah, they like him, but they're not having it. It's not Jamie Carragher. It's Alonso or Zidane, or whoever it is, isn't it? So we got to be like that. But the fans are too soft. You still see them singing Amorim's name, like they're losing games. You're singing his name in the stands. Like it's just the fans are soft. But we'll see in it. But like I said, as whatever manager comes in, he won't be given the opportunity to pick his own players, buy his own players. It's gonna have to be like a Maresca. Maresca ain't even on that. So
yeah, which leads us to our next.
Good point, man.
Yeah, which leads us to our next. Obviously, there was a game at the Etihad yesterday. Chelsea stunned City to rescue a point. Managerless Chelsea, by the way. Maresca losing his job. Naeem, that was. It kind of seemed a little bit out of the blue. I know, obviously, the results have not been great for Chelsea, but I didn't really see that one coming.
I think was it before Christmas? I know we spoke about it briefly with that team. Was since the 1-1 draw, sorry, the 1-1 win against Arsenal they had, and they were in the title run. They've had a shocker, isn't it, in terms of the league? I think even in the Champions League they've been dropping off points. It feels like he's having beef at the top as well, similar to what with Amorim. I read somewhere about them telling him that he needs to start playing Esteval more than Neto. And again, we talk about
because Neto stinks, man, at the moment.
Oh, I agree with that. I'm not going to disagree, but it's as a manager, and he's going to be leading man. And also remember, this guy's on a bit of his high horse because they're world champions. Remember, won the conference European that trophy as well. So he's obviously sitting a bit on his high horse, which you can do, relatively. And I think it came down to where that news came out about him flirting with Man City. I think that came out. Was it about a month ago? There was a bit of noise about that, and the way he was talking in a lot of press conferences, he was saying like, "I need this, I need that." He didn't get a defender he wanted after, I think,
Colwell got injured.
He wanted a defender. I mean, they have got about 20. Let's be fair, but he wanted a defender. He didn't get what he wanted. It feels like, obviously, I think he wants a bit more control. It sounds like, read between the lines. Again, but they're fourth at the moment. Semi-finals of the cup. So again, I think it's more with the board. Rosinia's gone in there now. He's going in there, I believe. Is it what they're saying? Obviously, he's part of the blue group they call themselves?
Blue Co.
Yeah, that them lot.
And what's the blue Co?
Blue Co, Strasbourg. It's Strasbourg.
It's the parent company that owns Strasbourg, Chelsea. So that's why you see a lot of Chelsea man going to Strasbourg, and then
and then they have those dodgy, not allegedly dodgy, like the Savinho signing.
You can sign a guy like from Brazil, and to circumvent him having to get his papers, you go to Europe, Strasbourg, and then they'll transfer him over to Chelsea. That's a multi-tier club model.
Yeah, multi-tier club models, sort of thing, like how City have with a few of those.
Yeah, New York City and Melbourne City and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
But overall with the game, I thought, look, Maresca, I think he was looking to go. He was talking about, I think the City talk was coming out. I do think there's a falling out for up top. But to the game, I thought credits, Chelsea, I thought City were much better than the first half. I thought they started well. Not clinical enough. I think Haaland had a couple of chances. Not clinical enough. Went 1-0 up. It was a lovely finish from Reinders. I thought I think it could have been that, but it should get beat at the near post. You'd think.
I was about to say the keeper. Me and keepers, man, they just wind me up.
It does remind me of the goals I used to score quite a few, with the little bit of techers, but we can part that for another day. Started well. I thought second half, I thought Chelsea came out pretty well. I thought they took the game, they took the game to City a bit, and City looked a bit worried. They looked shaky at the back. Lost 2 defenders out of it as well. I think
Guardiola ACL now. It's a broken leg.
Broken leg, yeah. Broken right leg.
Okay. And then so I think they've got 2 centre defenders at the moment left. There's talk of them looking at Margay at the moment. I read that earlier. So, and then this is the second game in a row they've dropped points chasing Arsenal, playing after Arsenal, which is quite interesting because, mentally strong. We talk about that, about City. But I thought fair play to Chelsea. They pushed and scored a nicked a point at the end. I think it'll be interesting with Rosina coming in. Is he just a yes man for the board? Sounds like it. And it'll be interesting to see what he does with that team. I do think that team generally with Chelsea, they miss a bit of experience down the spine. They had like a Thiago Silva that they had a couple of years ago, something like that, centre defence. It would be a bit more maturity midfield. I thought they'll be there or thereabouts for top 4, but I think City, those injuries, I think they need to look at themselves a bit. Rodri doesn't look the same player. Obviously, he started. Yeah, I think this isn't. They've dropped 2 points. They've dropped. Points in the past 2 games, and I think it's interesting though. Arsenal played after City 2 games and won both games. City normally do the same. I haven't been that impressed with them defensively, and I thought Chelsea went in there looking a bit scared before they should have. They should have started like they did in the second half, and I thought they would have realistically could potentially gone on one in that game. And they were missing Casado as well. Let's not forget.
Yeah, I think missing Casado
himself. So
I think
missing to them. But interesting to see what Chelsea do second half. I think I'll be able to see how they parallel against United.
Yeah, I think you're right, Naim. I think going into that game, I think City feeling a little bit of pressure. But listen, these guys are monsters, isn't it? They've got the best manager in history, so they've got the right man in control. But even when they went 1-0 up, I was quite disappointed. Obviously, I know Haaland hit the post with that finish. I thought that was in. I was very disappointed with the goalkeeper, to be fair. Getting beaten by them. But fair enough, they've done that in. But they just seemed very, very, very nervous. You can even just hear the crowd. And I think they've been there before that, it's only 1-0. Chelsea are wounded animal there. I just think the forward play from Chelsea was so poor. I think Cole Palmer, nobody's really talking about the form he's been in since he's been back. It's been absolutely horrendous. Top player as well, so he's obviously struggling to get in his grind again. Neto, I think Ed mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. He's unrecognizable. This cannot be the same one from Wolves, because yesterday he couldn't even control the ball. He was more of a liability than an asset yesterday. He was so poor. And obviously Liam Delap came on. I thought, right, this is your £50 million. Is it 50 or 40 he was?
About 40.
It was about 40.
It was a bit of money, but it wasn't
about 40. So you've got this guy who was, banging in 11 goals and 9 goals for Ipswich. So he looked really nervous as well. João Pedro as well. So it wasn't looking great, but anytime you have Reece James in that team, you've got a chance. He is a real warrior. I can't question. He is. It seems like he's head and shoulders above every other player for Chelsea there. Like, I watched that game yesterday and I thought, right, with him on the ball, he was doing everything, covered every blade of grass. So I thought there was a chance, but City were just getting more nervous. They lose, obviously, Gvardiol, broken leg. Then you lose Diaz as well. That's your 2 centre-backs out. So you could just tell the crowd was getting nervous. And yeah, it was inevitable what was going to happen. And it did happen. Major blow for City, obviously being 6 points behind now. But they are, again, for me, they're still the favourites going into this. But it's definitely a huge blow for them. There's no 2 ways about that, because now they look, Pep, when Pep tells you at the end of a press conference, he sulks, he starts smiling, he starts speaking very fast as he does and shaking everyone's hand. And in the press conference, he's saying, we don't have the players. That's desperate. He's in a very desperate situation there. I've seen Pep do this before with Klopp once or twice, where he did this. He starts saying, we haven't got enough. And it's like, Pep, you spent nearly 200 in last Jan. You've got the players. You bought a centre back there. It hasn't worked out. And he is, for me, he's the best. But there's people that are Pep haters that always talk about checkbook Pep. He can't do anything without checkbook. I still think that's harsh. But yesterday I thought, right, you're just playing right into this narrative now, Pep. You really, really, really are. But listen, it's only 6 points. Arsenal are going to go and take on Liverpool. Liverpool's still dangerous. I know they're not playing well at the moment. If there's a wobble there, City have got Brighton at home. The question is who is going to be their centre-backs? They're obviously linked with Mark Gahey now. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. Ed's managerless Chelsea end up getting a draw, man.
Yeah, they fought to the end, man. They really did. Especially in the second half, they were a much better side. City were weird, man, because even when they got the goal, you expect City to, go for the juggler once the first goal goes in. And it seemed like as soon as they scored that goal, they were a bit more passive. Especially in the second half, they didn't have the belief to go and kill the game against the managerless Chelsea side, who are on a rotten run of form as well. I think this even though they got a point, they still haven't won in about 8 or 9 games. I think they've got 1 win in their last 8 or 9. So they're not in great form either. And their record against City, sorry, at their ground is bad. I don't think they've won in the last 10 games. So they should have been thinking, okay, cool. They haven't got recent good history at our ground. We're the better side anyway, even with the injuries. And we're at home. We should tuck them up. But they didn't believe. They didn't believe. It was an off night for Foden. I know he had a little mini resurgence, but he's gone back to the Foden where it's like, okay, cool. Is this guy really the guy who you think he is?
Oh, Ed, you're nasty now. Look, it's back again. You were a bit quiet a couple months ago. And now you're back. To be fair, though, I'm going to let you land. But City, you said they were a bit nervous and stuff. In regards to finishing, of course, they've got one of the best strikers in the world. But the last 2-3 games, especially the last 2 games, they haven't been firing. They've been missing quite a few chances that you should have put to bed. I think he got put in the pocket away at Sunderland. Like he literally he didn't do anything. Now I think he's on. And for Haaland, listen, this is the best in the Prem. He's going on to 4 games, no goals. You know, this is quite alien. It's kind of like again, he is the best. No one's questioning that, but that's a bit strange now. Like,
and what I've noticed with Haaland as well is anytime he's on a landmark goal. So I think if he scores his next goal, it's going to be his 150th for City. I remember it took him ages to get his 100th in the league. So his 100th league goal for City, it took him a little while. It was weird. Like he was on 99 for time. Now he's on 150 in total, all comps. Yeah, I think I don't know, maybe he's overthinking it or I don't know. It's weird. But he had a bit of an off night in front of goal. Shirky was annoying me yesterday. Some poor decision making.
Annoying you? Did you want them to win, Ed? I'm confused.
No, in terms of as a footballer. No. As a footballer, like do the right thing. Obviously, for Arsenal fans, I'm happy. I'm happy that they shanked. But I'm saying like, listen, if I'm your manager, yeah, do the right thing, bro. It was just being stupid.
Decision making was awful.
Decision making, man. Do you know what I mean? So that's what it is. Yeah, but
okay, just checking Ed because that a bit of conflict of interest there, more your pocket.
No. No. Listen, I've got stocks in Shirky in it. So I've got stocks in Shirky. Shirky works. I'm rolling Shirky. So that's what it is. But in terms of like, you're the home team. You should be on the front foot, and they just weren't doing what you expect City to do. But like you said, it's not over till the fact they these things. So I'm not, as an Arsenal fan, getting above, our station. It's one game at a time because City, not only can they go on a run, I don't think they're going to go on a run, but they can. And, when Pep's complaining, the January window's open, they might nick Gahey, they might go and get some random attacker from somewhere and it could all be good again. So with City, you've always got to be, wary of their financial power. But back to Chelsea, yeah, man, a good point. They toughed it out. I don't know where they go though in terms of who are they going to get to replace Maresca.
It looks like it's going to be,
Sorry. It's Rosina. I don't know why they've gone for him. It just looks like an easy choice because he's part of the Blue Co group.
Cheap as well, isn't it? It'd be cheap to sack. I hate to say it, like you always look at the contingency plans.
Is it even a sacking? Because it's like
but the thing is, we said this the end of the last season or the end of the season before. Why are you going to go for Leicester's Maresca? I was like, okay, this is quite strange here. I didn't really get glowing references. I know obviously with Leicester he done his thing and they came up, and he ended up, getting them top 4. Winning them, the World Cup Championship. 2 trophies. So, of course, Maresca is more, polished as a manager than Mourinho, but they obviously, it works. It kind of worked last season. They were happy to get top 4. I think that was a good season for them, plus 2 trophies.
But it works to a point because, okay, if you're a team that's not used to winning 2 trophies in a calendar year is amazing, right? Imagine this was Palace. You never hear the end of it. They were City before City. So they were the preeminent team, titles galore, Champions League, Europe, countless domestic trophies. Also, with the money that they spent, I think it's been 2.3 billion, I think they spent since Roman Abramovich sold up to these people. When you look at who they bought with that kind of money, it's it is a squanderance, if that's even a word. They have squandered that money. There's not been many top players. You could probably only say Cole Palmer's been the best player they've signed.
And that was 40M. That was good money spent.
Of course. Yeah. But it's just been weird decision after weird decision. Case in point, I always mention this. You sell Madueke for 52 million, but then that 52 million is you spend 40 million to buy Garnacho. Like, Neto, yeah, his rep was high at Wolves, and everybody wanted him. I know you're happy in it, Riman, but everybody wanted him when he was at Wolves. He looked like a cut above. He now goes to Chelsea, and it just shows that there's levels to this, man. There's really, really levels.
He's struggling big time.
Yeah, he's not good enough.
And you said about the transfers, and I know Chelsea supporters are going to think, Nobs is at it again. But what makes me uncomfortable, would make me uncomfortable at my club, is that if you've spent 220 million on Caicedo and Enzo.
Mm-hmm.
Caicedo, I know obviously he's the best DM in the world to Chelsea fans. Like, that's it. He can't do any wrong. But 220 mil, and that's the players. That's these leaders that you're saying, yeah, this is if Rice was 100 mil. It's a difference maker. You look at Haaland, you look at that, you look at Van Dijk, he came in for, was it 70? 75. No, but these are we think, my gosh, he's coming and
elevated the squad, right? Elevated the team.
These are over £100 million players. And I know Caicedo's had a good season. I think he's a very good player. You know me, I'm a massive fan, but I do look and think 115 for him?
And it was 105 for Enzo and 115, for Caicedo.
And I'm like,
they haven't moved any.
Really supposed to be going into seasons if you spend that on an individual player and say, yeah, I think top 4 will be okay for me. I just don't think.
No, I'm with you, and that lends to my point where all the signings they've made, how many of them can you say have been actual successes? Now Chelsea fans will say, listen, we won 2 trophies and yada yada yada. Cool, but we're judging you by your own standards, which is you used to be the top dogs, isn't it? You used to be winning everything and anything ruthlessly. You were sacking managers for finishing in the top 4, not even winning. You're gone.
But it's a new ownership, man. That was
the old regime. That was the old regime. Now it seems like this new regime, they're trying to box a bit too clever. So with the putting certain player, they won't buy a player over the age of 26. Then when they do buy that said player, they put them on a mad contract, so it's 8 or 9 year deals to maximize their value. And then they're also shopping in certain markets where, Esteval, that's a good up and coming Brazilian player. They've got Andre Santos. They've got another one. I think Kendry Paez. I think he's at Strasbourg now. He's probably going to come into the Chelsea side in the summer. So they're doing certain things where they're thinking, okay, cool, it's going to bear fruit in the future. But when you keep on future proofing, football's a current game, man. You can't keep looking to the future when City are here. Arsenal are doing their thing at the moment. Football doesn't stand still. So whilst you're thinking, okay, cool, we're going to be really, really good in 3-4 years, you might not win anything in 3-4 years, man. You might not win anything now. So you have to strike when the iron's hot. I just think with Chelsea, their hierarchy is very weird, and I know a lot of Chelsea fans they're not happy with how things are going on. They're not happy at all.
I'm talking about transfers. We're gonna go. Yeah, we'll go to Ruben, but another one is they're gonna keep harping on for the Chelsea supporters. But look, 115 on Caicedo. I think he's good, but I don't think that justifies 115.
No, listen, he's one of the DMs in the Premier League. He is
115 M though.
105 for Declan Rice is not worth it. 115 Caicedo isn't worth it. And if you talk about, you got to look at their squad. Their squad, as much as they spent it badly. Their squad isn't good. They've got 2 very good centre midfielders. Ones you name, Enzo and Caicedo. Those are pretty much world-class midfielders. They are.
No.
They are.
So what? Caicedo is a world-class midfield player. But this is his first season in the Champions League.
If you put Declan Rice,
let's talk about world class. I'm a massive fan of Caicedo, may I add. Like everyone knows, but this is the Chelsea narrative that they do, and I'm not gonna fall for it, man. you telling me, so someone who has never played in the Champions League before but plays in the Premier League, you make it to top 4, they're world class. I don't know, Roman, because I think the Champions League is what people say, right? This is the competition that you're going to have to consistently be mashing work here. So what is his standout performance that you would say in the Champions League? Unbelievable.
You're just doing it so you can tally up against Declan Rice's little.
No,
Come on.
No, I'm not even bringing up Declan Rice. I'm just saying they're not.
Enzo walk into every single Premier League team. He would and start. He would. You telling me he won't start over Zubimendi? Yes, he would.
No.
Yes, he would.
I don't think they're playing the same position. What is he, like a 10?
He'll start in Man United's midfield. He'll start in.
Oh well, I mean,
I'd say he plays a bit like an 8, doesn't he? He plays like an 8, doesn't he?
You would start in your midfield. That's how bad your midfield is. You would start in your midfield.
No, that's not
So
But what I'm saying, and one thing that sorry, I'm not going to keep harping on about them two, but one that we've forgotten about, and it cost them nearly 80-something mil, is Mudryk.
Mhm.
It's been horrible, you know. They've got away with Chelsea Football Club have got away with a lot of nastiness. And I'm not even trying to go.
He ain't paid for a year either. Let's be fair.
That's more to do with a player than Chelsea.
Yeah,
Like, it's your choice. No, bro. People that say, do you know
allegedly, he's not been found guilty yet.
Ed,
We ain't seen him in a year, but yeah.
they sat and watched
Yeah.
what they used to do. Remember, they've done this for years.
Yeah.
They weren't really Willie. Oh, he's going to Tottenham. All right, let me.
Boom. Yeah.
They did the same thing to John Obi Mikel. That's why I don't listen to him. He wants to talk about he's Mr. Chelsea. He was a Manchester United.
That one was bad. That one was bad.
So when they do the same thing. Chelsea just wait there. Oh yeah, let's pounce now. And they did Mudryk. Did they do their homework? They they keep getting mentioned. Oh, he's young, and they pounce. And you went and paid nearly 80 or 85 million for this boy.
That's probably been one of the worst transfers in recent memory. It's bad,
bro. It's
really
bad.
Yeah.
And I know Enzo's decent. He's not £100 million player. Roman, he's not £100 million.
And even most of these players ain't. But listen, back to Chelsea.
Yeah.
They used to this, like having players with drug habits. You know what I'm saying? Adrian Mutu, did he have a problem? They had a few other players that had drug habits.
Bosnich and them, man. Bosnich.
Yeah. So listen, we're not gonna look too deep into that. What Chelsea do in their private lives, isn't it? But listen, the game yesterday. Listen, Chelsea did well to get back into the game.
Yeah, they did.
I wanted obviously Man City to win because I want them to be. Like, I want.
Why do you want Man City to win though?
Yeah,
Ain't you Manchester United fan?
No, I can't stand Arsenal fans. You know,
Wow.
Second red. Second red.
But Roman, you told me that it was Liverpool is the team that you hate.
There's two. No, I hate Liverpool for what they are and what they stand for as a club. I hate Arsenal for their fans. That's it. I don't mind Arsenal as a club. It's their fans. I don't know if I
So you want your neighbours, your main ops in Manchester, to do well
1,000 times over Arsenal. And you guys can't be disrespecting Chelsea, by the way. They've won the Champions League. You guys
one's disrespected Chelsea, by the way.
Where did we disrespect Chelsea? I said they need to be judged by their lofty standards.
Yeah.
Because especially towards Arsenal fans, because the beef is real, they always want to tell us, oh, you ain't won nothing, you ain't done this. Cool, we hear it. We're Club World Champions, Champions League winners, yada, yada, yada. But every week, they're in pain. I speak to my young boy, Samson. Every week, he doesn't even watch football no more. He's in pain. He's give up football because he's in pain. But you're quick to tell me you haven't won anything. But why are you in pain? You've won everything, yeah? But you're the one in pain. How does that make sense?
And they should be judged by the standards there, Chelsea. They should be. They spent over 2 billion, and nobody would say, look, you've got, because every player is the best. Remember, and it's always the same nasty narrative with them. Whichever player is playing well for them, they think, right, let's compare them to an Arsenal player. That will do it. They've done this all the time. Casado and Rice. I don't think we're having this conversation again now. I think this is
Saka. You know what I mean? That was the first guy they had in their sights. Yeah. As soon as he touched the ball for Chelsea, kicked the ball, better than Saka. Straight away.
What are you still saying? What are you saying? Saka's better than him?
Listen, Cole Palmer's a ghost right now. Cole Palmer's a ghost. Do you know what I mean? Get healthy. I don't think he's healthy. Go and get fit, man. You know what I mean?
Listen, Saka not right now, to be fair, but that's Saka normally, and we don't.
He's producing, bro. He's producing. Cole Palmer ain't even producing.
Yeah, and more corner kicks for him to plant on top of Gabriel's head. And
is that not an assist?
Do you want to get something off your chest? Do you want to get something off your chest? Because you seem a bit agitated, and is this what it's about? Like all through the show. Like, look, we were gonna get to this anyway, Riman, but all through the show, little digs here and there. I'll let you lead with this one. So Arsenal extend lead to 6 points. Another failed hate watch on Saturday night. So you didn't taste your suya on Saturday night as you watched this game. You were looking forward to it before, barely rumbling. You maybe left it in the microwave 30 seconds longer, but it was fine. You've done this many times before. And as Gabriel makes that huge gaff, that suya probably banged your taste buds, God. You're thinking, this is my Saturday. I'll enjoy this. And Arsenal win again. So another failed hate watch. Talk to me, man. What's going on?
You know, these hate watches, I'm not going to lie, they've not been going well. But after the last game against Wolves, when you guys couldn't score a goal, for love, no, you needed 2 own goals to win the game. I thought that you might slip up in this game. You know, you almost did. You see Gabriel, doing what he used to do prior to what kind of hair transplant he got, what kind of...
You're a nasty guy. You're a nasty youth for that one. Yeah.
Maybe he had a brain transplant because he used to look like Romero to me, but now he's looking a bit more composed. So I don't know what's going on with him. But yeah, listen, you got the win. And I just want to see if you can maintain it. Man City, they've been here before. I think the injuries that they're going through at the moment, and just knowing that Arsenal have a bit more about them. That you want to talk about Chelsea spent £1 billion, and Arteta himself, one manager, has spent £1 billion on that squad. So we should judge you according to that, right, Nabil?
I think you got to use context.
Judge Chelsea by the trophies.
I'm going to use context.
£1 billion squad he has.
Listen, I'm going to use context. And I think a manager should be judged of how much he spent. But I look at the difference of the work that he had to do. Should he have got over the line before? I definitely believe. Yes. No, I'm not questioning that. Yeah, and he should be done with that. But I can guarantee you now, when you look at Arsenal, you're talking about the strength of the team, the mentality. Whether you like Arsenal, you don't like Arsenal, you can't question the job that Arteta's done. You can say that he should have won more, but I'm telling you now, that's why Rio Ferdinand is trying it. If Arteta said, you know what, I've always been a Man United supporter, I'm going to United, Riman, you would be over the moon. And I'm bringing Gabriel with me. You would be over the moon. He is, whether you like him or not, he has to get over the line. And if he doesn't, it's going to be pepper for him. He's one of the world's best coaches. That's it.
I put him alongside.
Am I right or wrong? He is one of the world's best. In Europe, he's one of the best coaches.
Listen,
he's not the best. You've got Klopp. You've got winners there. No, but he's not. I'm just saying right now, he is one of the best coaches.
Yeah,
this guy's good. You know, this guy. Listen, politician knobs. See that? Good save. Good save.
Oh, that is good. That's very good. Like
Teflon done. Teflon done with that one. Yeah.
Listen, he's one of the best.
The truth always feels good. I'm telling you, man. The truth shall set you free, Ed. That's why you feel comfortable with what I've said. It's the truth. But yeah, sorry, Roman. I'll let you.
Listen, he's one of the best. I put him alongside Pep, and just like Pep.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Let me finish.
Alongside Pep for what?
The checkbook. What's he winning? So I mean, same way you want to say, Pep's a checkbook manager. I think we're going.
I never said that.
He's our checkbook manager. He's not won nothing. So listen, if you don't win this league, and you know this is one of the worst.
What is United fan going to tell us about if you don't win this league? I'm not having it from you. Allow it, man.
Premier Leagues. I think we've got.
Get your weight up, bro. Allow it, man.
History. We own the land.
Go on, no, but yeah. If he wins it though?
Well done to him. He won it. Listen, well done. Same way Claudio Ranieri won it. Same way Slut won it. What's his name? Arnold Slut. Same way he won it. Well done. A one-time winner. Well done. It took you 7 attempts though, right? And £1 billion spent.
I think that's as I said, you've got to use context because this is quite strange that Arsenal leading the title race by 6 points. Currently, listen, it's a long way to go. As I said, I still think Man City are favourites to do it. So, you know what I mean? We're going to wait and see and hope for the best. Do you know what I mean? But I think you've got to just give him his credit, Riman. Arsenal are a good team. I need to press you on this because what seems to be happening is we try to divert. He hasn't won. That's fine. You're right.
That's
but are Arsenal a good team?
100%.
Okay.
You can't spend £1 billion on your squad and not have. So what he's done is spent the money wisely. You finally got your striker, right? Gyökeres. He scored 3 goals. I think one of them from open play, the rest are from penalties. I mean, he's doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? He's looking like a fully grown Stone Cold Steve Austin, like a wrestler on the pitch. But that's how you guys play. You want Saka to be there just ghosting around, limping. Fair enough. But then again, you got Declan Rice. You got some strong players in there who can actually have an impact. You got Martinelli, strong player. You have to take him off, bring on Trossard, who scores the goals. So, like, these players all play a part. So Martinelli's there to wear down the winger or the left back or the right back until Trossard comes on to score the goals.
That's his latest. That's his latest thing.
Everyone plays their part. That's the thing about they don't have the ability to bring on players like that. They've got injuries.
The hate is real, isn't it? The hate is real.
How come I say he's there to wear down the right back?
No, it's exactly the same.
You need some players like that, to be fair. You need some players
like that. You've got Gyökeres. You spent how much on him? 70 million, 65 million.
55.
Actually, 54.
It was less than how much you paid for Sesko. I'll say that.
That's why he went. That was the deal. That's why Gyökeres ended up going because of the price.
Wherever it was, he plays up top for 75 minutes to wear down the centre back just to come on and put Marino up front to score 2 goals and win the game for you. That's the game plan Arteta has.
But he's a good coach.
What £1 billion buys you? Long throws and corner set piece routines.
Hold on.
Good question. How much have Man United spent in the same period?
Thank you. Because
I just want to know that. I don't know the figure.
They've spent more, Naeem. They've spent more. And the man knows.
It was an open question. I was just wondering because
and the man knows the figure as well. But look, this isn't about Manchester United. And look, Riman is entitled to his opinion. And look, he's entitled to it. Naeem, what I want to know is, it seems that, and I know Ed, myself and Ed in our group chat, we are obsessed and we just want to win. And very clear we stand alone in this. However, I've noticed that when you're winning, podcasters, the media, now they want to start having conversations about Declan Rice being world class. I find it quite disrespectful, to be fair, because I kind of think if Arsenal were third, would these same conversations happen? Now, I know it's his first brace in the Premier League, but that performance that he gave against Bournemouth on Saturday, I've seen that performance many times before. Is it feeling a bit weird as an Arsenal supporter, the amount of compliments that are kind of coming from the media? Do you feel a bit uneasy about it? Because it's usually...
No, I've been there before. I'm old enough, innit, to remember that, the Invincibles of that period of time, that when Wenger first turned up and all the gas we used to get then. But, obviously there was a bit of financial doping from the Old Trafford boys at that time with the league where we talk about money. But, if we go back in history there, man, just to say, by him. I think, look, the thing is, and I think maybe made a really good point. The reason Arsenal are big in the media and obviously doing really well is not all of them, but there's a lot of Arsenal fans are very good. We're very quick to bite on stuff, right? And very quick to get sounds about it. And that's the nature of the media, isn't it? So for Arsenal, and we know how everyone's going to react to it. I think the way I look at it, Arsenal 6 points clear. I think if you look at it overall, should win the league from here. If you look at the games to go, the current squad, injuries happened last year for Arsenal, apart from the reasons, one of the reasons that impacted their league title charge. I'm going to play it politically correct. I think Arsenal, it's there for Arsenal to win it. Keep everyone fit. They should do. Be interested to see what City do for Jan. Good performance. I think Rice, he's proved himself. I'm surprised he's had so many doubters, especially in the English media, him being an English football player. We know how the lenses are in this country, especially with him being Declan Rice as he is. I think he's really, really good for Arsenal. I think the nature of it, you see how a bit more dynamic that midfield is when Marino's there. Look, it doesn't matter how Arsenal play. I think most Arsenal fans just want to see that title now. Arteta has to win it. I mean, I think he has to win something. I'm not even calling the Carling Cup, or whatever we call it at the moment. That don't count. I think he's going to win one of the big trophies. I think they're set up a good place to do it, but take it game by game. Let the hate watch continue for Arsenal. I think Arteta, and I think most Arsenal fans enjoy being the villain. Let's be fair as well. So long may it continue.
Yeah. Ed,
ask your question quickly. So if he doesn't win one of the big trophies, is it time for him to leave? If he doesn't win one of the big trophies, I've heard this for the past 7 years.
Yeah, I said at the start of the season,
sack him. A big club would sack him.
I said, look, if we talk about context and everything, I'll be, I'm the most diplomatic person here. Jack Cameron, huh?
Look, I don't think any club would sack.
I don't think Arsenal will sack him
in the Premier League. I don't think so.
Should he? Should he be? Look, I said at the start of the season he should win the title, right? They should go inside. If I take 20 games in, right, 18 games to go, 6 points clear, should win the league from here. I genuinely think so. If he doesn't, I think there's going to be some conversations to have because you can't lose from here, if that makes sense.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Somebody can answer the question straight up.
Listen, I think Ed's itching to answer that, but I am telling you now, in the Premier League, if Arteta, I don't think he would get sacked. When you talk about big club, what big club? Oh, he's gone now, because he lied. Which big club? Which big club would sack Arteta now?
Di Matteo won the Champions League, sacked the next season.
That was Abramovich. I agree on that one.
Did Ancelotti win the league and they sacked him the following season?
No. Well, yeah, the following, yeah. But that's what I'm trying to say. When you're saying the big club would take away Real Madrid and Barcelona, possibly, with the way that he's coaching, the way the team is set up, I understand Arsenal supporters will probably say, listen, I don't think he can get us over the line, but I'm just talking about ownership. I think he's kind of near perfect employee, bar he has to get over the line. I think they'll give him another chance.
How many more seasons can he go without winning the league and just keep challenging?
He shouldn't. I think he has to do it this season. I agree. He has to do it this season, but he is a pretty safe bet if you're an owner at a club. A pretty safe bet. Because if you look at the difference between, I know Ed's going to go on and I'm going to give you the longest stage. If you look at the difference between when you win the Prem, obviously to supporters, the winning is the most important. You want to win the Prem. But for a lot of these Premier League clubs, business owners, how you've performed, coming second, I think he'll get another go at it. But yeah, Ed will answer your question.
He shouldn't stay if he doesn't win the league this year. 100%. But that's my own personal agenda against the man. So, but I know in reality, he's going nowhere, man. His job is ironclad. His cult-like fan base love him. He can do no wrong no matter what. It's everyone else's fault if we don't achieve. It's never his fault if we don't achieve. So he's got a cushy gig, man. But like, he won't get this much time out of PSG, Real Madrid, a Bayern, or a Barca.
United. You'll never get 7 years. No, you'll never get 7 years.
Yeah, United anyway, because United are beneath him. But 20 years ago, yeah. But that's 20 years ago.
But Riman, what you're saying, that I think we could have to end it there, is that you've now mentioned United again. I think today should mark the day that you're not who you used to be, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're not, man. This is you are now Larry Holmes, bro. This is the Larry Holmes. You got to look at it and think, okay, I'm not that guy anymore, bro. Honestly, you've got to accept that as a United supporter now, because this is why it hurts so much, because you're not accepting that you're not that guy anymore, and you haven't been for a long time. So this thing about, we wouldn't accept that at United. You've had 10 managers since Sir Alex Ferguson, no Premier League, and you
don't care what you would accept.
Yeah, you've
accepted 10 managers. With the 10 managers we had, we probably won about 10 trophies as well in that time.
Fine.
And I mean, in the 10 years, like Arsenal's been top of their game, the best Arsenal's ever seen.
Not in 10 years, come on.
7 years?
Not in 7 years. No way near.
Trophies in that time. Now, obviously, for smaller clubs like Arsenal, like a Tottenham, like not winning trophies becomes what part of your makeup. That's why Amorim, we'll take it back to Amorim to wrap this up here. That's why he got sacked. Losing to Tottenham in the final. That was for me. Listen,
But he didn't get sacked for that though.
He should have. That's what I'm saying. They should have sacked him that day. You don't lose a final as Man United, let alone to Tottenham. Because
17th place Tottenham. I'm back with Wi-Fi.
But you don't lose a final to Tottenham. Come on.
Roman, it's been a pleasure, bro. To be fair, agendas have been agending. People that don't know you, that you were speaking 2 languages. To be fair, like you were speaking, but then there was little weird innuendos and agendas. That
little jabs.
Isn't it, man? But listen, man, thank you for joining us today. But yeah, as I said, look, man, as United supporter, you haven't given me a name. Who do you want before we go?
I'll tell.
On that note, man, peace out, man, brother. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, man. Big up, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care.
Peace.